It's 2025, and thankfully there are now better lightsabers available than this.
Record your own sounds.
This is a mass-produced Chinese lightsaber from a company called Sabers, which make a bunch of different lightsabers. They come in a really nice box, all ready to go, and there's a handy app that you can connect to, which controls all of the sounds and colors. And then you can geek out. But this still feels like a toy, especially when compared to the original props used in the movies. There isn't a crystal inside, and while it is made of metal, everything just feels a little bit, well, mass-produced by a Chinese company. There's lots of parts which are cheap and certainly don't feel like a Jedi's laser weapon. I mean, that's what this thing is supposed to be. The handle to a laser which can cut through any material and deflect bullets. And while for most people, this is probably going to be satisfactory, especially for the price of a couple of $100, it's 2025. We've got self-landing rockets. Surely we've got something that's a little bit more real.
We made the world's first retractable plasma-based lightsaber.
Okay, slightly less real. This is where Coll comes in.
You take a green crystal, pop it in, everything turns green, the blade's now green, and it's like Luke Skywalker sounds, you know? I paid £5,500 for this.
How much, do you mind me asking, how much was just this Rolls Royce?
Do you really want to know?
I really do.
It was $10,000. Yeah.
He's making lightsabers. He's making very good lightsabers. Or should I say he's making and selling parts to actually build your own. He does offer a building service on his website, but it's actually a lot of fun building your own lightsaber. I'm going to be doing that later on in this video because I'm going to be building my friend Les his dream lightsaber. But before we get onto that, let's check out KR Sabers' brand new state-of-the-art lightsaber manufacturing facility. There are purpose-built rooms for different stages of the manufacturing process.
This is going to be the metal finishing room. So this is where we can do weathering, powder coating, painting.
And Star Wars themed rooms upstairs in the offices. Okay, so this place isn't quite finished yet, but as you can see, it's going to be state-of-the-art. There's even a bloomin' John Wick Mustang replica parked in the garage. Downstairs in the stockroom is where the good stuff is. Let's go and pick out all of the bits for Les's dream lightsaber.
That's the Desert Wanderer hilt there.
Oh wow, wow, beautiful.
Feel that bit heavy?
Oh, it's heavy, isn't it?
He was absolutely over the moon. I cannot wait to get this thing working and in his hands. Although I have got a lot of work cut out for me. I've never done something like this before, so I'm really hoping I can actually get it to work. Now, to give you an understanding of just how much of a fan of Star Wars Coll is, let's look at some of the things that he's acquired during the 10+ years that he's been building lightsabers. So that they can build the most identical props, Coll has been sourcing the original parts used to make the props in the movies so that they can make their replicas absolutely identical, affordable, and available.
This is an MPP flash gun. It was made by Micro Precision Products in Kingston, so not far from here even. So they would use these in like RAF planes for taking photos, aerial photos, like in the Second World War and stuff. I paid £5,500 for this. Yeah, at auction. So I was bidding, I was fighting against other people to win this. Yeah.
That is the exact same camera flash used to build Darth Vader's lightsaber. So then your aim as a company is to then make something accessible.
So we can use this for research, and then we can design our own MPP kit.
Yeah.
That is beneficial. So this is our new MPP kit. You can like feel the weight of it if you want. like how heavy it is.
Oh wow, that's really heavy.
We even injection molded the fake wires to be the shape of the wires on the prop. So if you touch those wires on the side, can you see them? They're hard plastic.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But the shape of them's fixed to be just like the prop.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then because they would accept the bulb, they would be spring loaded to accept the bulb. So if you push down the blade plug like that,
Yep.
it's also spring loaded.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That is nuts. The attention to detail in there. So for those people who want to make lightsabers as close to the movie props as possible, but don't necessarily have the money, I mean £5,500 to buy that old flash, plus they're impossible to find, Coll sells all of these as close to the originals as possible on his website for an extremely reasonable price given the quality of these items. So that's the outside, but what about the inside?
This is one of our chassis.
So what size speaker have you got in that?
So that's a 31mm speaker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really purpose-built resonance chamber. So you can grab this and go like that. You hear a little click, and that's your chamber there. You turn it on.
What is thy bidding, my master?
Now just feel the sound of it when
That
you
is
move that one.
so loud. And when you plug a blade into the end, well, it speaks for itself. What you need to know about Coll is that he obsesses over this stuff. He lives and breathes it. It is his goal to make the most accurate lightsaber replicas possible. There's something called a bubble strip, which comes from the inside of old calculators, which slotted into the clamp where these camera flashes were connected to the cameras. On the Darth Vader one, there was a small circuit board which went under the bubble strip, which had these old LED lights on them. These lights are no longer manufactured.
We instead made these from scratch as dummy LEDs because they were never on in the films, that users, when they buy the kits, can solder onto the blank PCB we've made, and you'll get 100% like accuracy to what was originally there.
It is honestly just insane. I mean, he's making old parts that aren't even made anymore just so that people can make prop replicas. Unbelievable.
So you can kind of see
Yeah.
that's the LEDs just on the circuit board there. No one was willing to do that. No one was willing to do it at a price that was acceptable. We ended up doing it.
And you know the lightsaber that Rey used in the sequel trilogy with the crazy flaps? Yeah.
And then we worked with my friend Cedric, who's from Goth 3 Design. So he designed the chassis. So this is a fully 3D printed metal chassis as well. You turn it on.
You had to get rid of.
And it's got a crystal chamber as well.
Oh my word. What is the retail cost of this full thing finished?
It is upwards of like £1,000.
And the coolness doesn't stop there. Look at the core that they are making for Luke's original Graflex lightsaber. It is made of full metal.
This is incredible.
This is next
Look,
level.
there's even like little bits of kind of copper.
Yeah, copper
Just
tubes
go,
are in there.
copper tubes going through there.
That's what you'd imagine it to look like.
1mm copper tubes. There's a good friend of mine, Cedric. He runs Goth 3 Designs, and he's designed a chassis where you can remove the crystal. You can have a green crystal, a red crystal, and the minute you put the red crystal in, all the accent LED lights change to red. So it's like it's in Star Wars. You put the crystal in, it reads it, and it goes, this is the red crystal, and it'll make it sound like that. It'll make that sound, and then suddenly all the LEDs are red. You take a green crystal, pop it in, everything turns green, the blade's now green, and it's like Luke Skywalker sounds, you know?
Okay, before we build Les's lightsaber, I just want to show you this one last thing. This is an all original parts Obi-Wan lightsaber replica.
So this is an original parts Obi-Wan. So the balance pipe is from a Rolls-Royce Derwent engine, so a plain jet engine.
Did you hear what he just said? That little end piece came from a 1940s Rolls-Royce jet plane engine used in planes flying around in World War II. Used in a lightsaber. And he has found one.
Then you've got a Hales number 3 rifle grenade. I kept the red paint on from when it was used in the war. This was used at some point in a world war.
Jesus.
You know? So this is a deactivated rifle grenade. Now you can see, you can recognise the Graflex clamp.
Yeah, the bubble
The
strip.
bubble strip, this is an original one from an Exactra calculator.
T20 was it, or was it?
T19,
T19.
I believe, yeah. Then you've got these Motorola capacitors that were used on the side.
Oh my god.
Then you've got a Browning machine gun booster. So at the end of this big machine gun, there was these little boosters.
Hang on. Jet plane engine, hand grenade, the end of a machine gun from World War II? One of these things. Look at it being used in World War II. And right on the end of the gun is the thing used in the handle of Obi-Wan's lightsaber. And he has found one somehow. And just wait till you hear about the last piece used.
So if you imagine when you go to the loo, you know, you'd have a little sink wheel, and you turn the tap on, and you turn it off. This is an original Armitage Shanks sink wheel.
A tap. Okay, that's actually not too bad. That's not too bad.
These are often found by plumbers. So these plumbers are going to houses like, oh, you want a new bathroom? And they walk in there, they're Star Wars fans, know about original props, and they walk in and they're like, this job just got bloody good. So this was from an arms dealer in Czech Republic, and I had to pay them with bank transfer, and I'd never met them.
Oh my god.
So imagine I'm sending money to an arms dealer in Czech Republic, like, can I give you a DHL label? And they're like, okay. And I have no idea. That was like, these parts are thousands.
How long did it take you to build that with finding all the parts and whatnot?
The best thing about the community is that there are people out there that if you ask around, you'll find people. This was so hard to convince the guy to sell it to me. I was like...
How much, do you mind me asking, how much was just this Rolls
Do you
Royce?
really want to know?
I really do.
It was $10,000. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
This
New old stock
part was $10,000.
Yeah, that was £3,000. And that one I think was about £1,500 or £2,000. And they're about 500 quid.
What is going on?
Do you know what? And I thought I was just, I wasn't.
Yeah.
The lengths that he has gone to get these parts. And to be honest with you, it just went on and on. You would need a 10-part Netflix documentary in order to get to every single thing that he is doing in this company. It is just unbelievable. Let's go back to the task at hand and look at building Les's lightsaber. Cal went off and fetched a couple more parts for the lightsaber, and believe it or not, this company is actually run by Cal and his mum. So this is exactly what it will look like if you place an order.
That's the Desert Wanderer hilt there.
Oh wow, how beautiful
Feel that
is
bit
that?
heavy?
Oh, it's heavy, isn't it? It's just, the quality is superb. Isn't that great?
He then started going through how to build this lightsaber. And at this point, I lost all hope.
What you'll do is you can heat these up with your soldering iron a little bit, just get them warm. And because this is PLA, you can push it in and it's like a perfect fit. You've got switch 1, switch 2 and common ground. Both the switches share a common ground. That'll get mounted on here. Little bit of just low viscosity super glue underneath, a couple dabs, and that's it. Just before the positive return to the soundboard. So that way you cut off power entirely. Our soundboard, it just mounts here, like that. And you've got your SD card access and stuff. And that's for if you ever want to flash the soundboard. But this is the brains of everything. The chassis is in 2 pieces so that you can run your wires and you've got a bit of flexibility. And then when you're done and it's tested, you can put some glue on here and just connect it together. Which brings us to our pogo connectors. And each of those little squares on there are LEDs. They're 1515 LEDs, the most in the market. So that when you take your chassis out, you can actually turn it on, there'll be light. And that's what connects to this PCB. High viscosity, low viscosity is where it's more watery. So what you can do is you can place your thing there, and if you use a low viscosity glue, you can put a drop on these edges, and surface tension will just suck into the thin gaps. So that way you're not getting big.
Right. Okay. Let's give it a go. Is it too late to order the assembly service? I was so overwhelmed by everything we saw that when Cal was telling me how to do this, it all went well over my head. Luckily, there's a wiring diagram for each lightsaber build, which makes things ever so slightly less terrible. Because Obi-Wan has a thin neck, his lightsaber I mean, we need to run wires to the connectors for the blade and sound core through the neck. So let's start with that first. These connectors allow you to remove the core to swap out the battery or change the settings on the lightsaber, and it allows you to remove the blade. I started by tinning up the pads on the board, stripping some wires and soldering them all into their respective places. Once I had done that, I taped a used waxy cotton bud to the wires and fed it through the handle. This then needs to be hot glued into place. Then I can feed the wires through the neck and solder the blade side connector to the wires, which was really tricky because you have to make the wires short so they don't get in the way, because you need to glue that down flush to the bottom of the blade holder. With that done off camera a further 3 attempts and 4 hours later because I messed everything up and got glue everywhere, we can then move on to the core. Then we can move on to the small button circuit, which allows you to change modes on the lightsaber and also make different sounds like deflecting bullets. I'm also going to solder the wires to a ginormous speaker which makes this sound like a real lightsaber. At this point, there's wires everywhere, and I'm losing the will to live. But let's carry on and solder in the kyber crystals. There are 2 absolutely minute LEDs, which we are going to solder wires to somehow. With a miracle performed, I could then clean up the board and cut it in half. This then gets glued into the crystal, and the crystal's glued into the chamber. Now we need to solder the final pogo connector to the top of the core so it can connect to the blade, and the pogo connector can connect to the connector that connects to the core to the sound to the blade lightsaber. With all of the wires fed through, the pogo board then gets glued in, as well as the speaker. It's now time to solder all of these wires, and there are a lot of them, onto the board, so it can start doing lightsabery things. At this point, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed I did everything right, because I've glued all of the things into place, and I have no idea if it will work yet. With everything connected, I gave it a final clean, And
Ooh,
boom.
boom. Let's turn this thing on. Oh, wait on that.
I can't get over how much it weighs.
Yeah.
There's a few Allen key bolts that you tighten up round the sort of just underneath the lip here, and that just holds the blade into place. It comes with a little Allen key. Here we go. Look at that. It is so bright. It is so bright. I'm kind of scared. Les, what do you think of
I
it?
love it.
Yeah.
Fantastic, absolutely.
What a piece of equipment. I cannot get over the quality of it, the attention to detail. Like, this is the creme de la creme of lightsabers that people can go out and make and buy and stuff, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. It's got that weight to it, as you say. All the components that are put in there, the metal, the brass, the copper. It's just got that quality feel to it.
It's unreal.
You know,
and obviously it's hard to like translate in the video, but honestly, holding this, just, I mean, especially like when the light is on, and if you go outside in the dark in the garden and wave one of these things around, you forget that it's got a plastic blade. You just and especially with the sound coming out of it.
So he's created a resonance chamber in, hasn't he, for the speaker? It's a 28mm speaker. It's really, really
It just
loud.
sounds like a laser is coming out of the end of it, doesn't it? Are you happy with it?
I'm super happy with
Yeah?
it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
It's a thing of beauty.
It is. It is.
If you're a Star Wars nerd like me, then you know this is like the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber. The thin neck is just beautiful.
Damn.
And to have it be such a premium product is just superb.
Well, massive thanks to Coll. Do you want to?
And thank you to you for
Well,
putting this together.
It's all good. It's all good. Do you want to open it up and see? Because there's a little
Yes.
secret chamber that doesn't even get, I mean, the attention to detail is so great. The thing that I like about this the most, you don't even see it. It's literally inside it. So you take that out and boom. Look at those crystals just pulsating. And then when you turn it on as well, if you just turn it on, they act in the same way as the blade. Like they're kind of flickering like that. Oh my god, it's so cool. It isn't gonna be for everyone, but there is that building service that's on his website. I bet you can't wait to just wave it around in the garden. Let's go and do that. Let's go and do that.